Welcome back to another episode. I wanted to give you guys a shop update on what's been going on. You can kind of see I've made some progress on the 56 Nomad project. The front clip is pretty much all done. It's all box plated in, tied back into the original frame. I cleaned off the original transmission mounts off of the inside of the frame rails, smoked out the whole inside of my shop because you know how old chassis go, there's grease packed into spots and makes a lot of smoke. So got those all cleaned off. I'm ready to mock up the 502 big block in here. I've got a dummy Turbo 400 case, so it's empty, bare, there's nothing in it. And I'll be able to mock that up with the new engine mount, which I'll have to trim to fit to the inside of the frame. And then I have a cross member for the rear of it that I will set into place once I get the motor in here positioned where I think I need it to have placement, and then degree it to the back of the vehicle. And then I can go ahead and set up that cross member. My goal for today is to get that big block in here with it mocked up with the fender well headers and see how everything's fitting, make sure I don't have any issues with clearance, steering shaft, stuff like that. The front axle that's in here is just tacked for the time being with the spring perches. I want to make sure that when the motor and tranny is sitting in here and this thing is sitting on the ground, that it's got the right ride height on the front end. I also want to double check the caster angle and make sure I got enough on that as well. And it's a really nice front axle. It's from Whack Axles. They're out of the Midwest. He uses, I think, 3/8 thick DOM tube, and he'll do a straight axle, or he'll also do a drop axle. And I think he only goes up to a 4-inch drop, which this is a 4-inch drop. But the nice thing is it's all TIG welded, and he flags into the tube the ends of these bosses for extra strength. So it just gives it a lot more strength being a thicker tube and then having it flagged into the tube. He builds a lot of these for the guys for the Southeast Gasser Association. So a lot of those gassers you see running 10,000 RPM, small blocks, pulling wheelies and shifting gears. He builds a lot of those for those guys. So good front axle. The stock Tri-5 55 Bel Air that was in here, it got a quick performance rear end, rear disc brakes, Willwood rear disc brakes, Caltrax, and I put a 700R4 transmission in that the customer had brought to me that was rebuilt by another shop, transmission shop. The transmission's got issues. It shifts firm and nice first, second, and third, but when it goes into fourth, something about fourth gear, if you have the lockup unplugged, it acts like it's slipping in fourth when you accelerate. And then when you hook the lockup up, the car will actually, when it goes into fourth, will actually nose over and act like you've shut the fuel off or it's lost spark or something. So something in that transmission's not happy, and he's coming to pick it up tomorrow to take to that guy and have him figure out, diagnose what is going on in there. I'm not a transmission specialist by any means, especially an automatic transmission specialist. And so, you know, I was hoping that that was going to be a good 700R4 ready to go in. No issues, but stuff happens and it is what it is. You just got to kind of roll with the punches. So he's coming to get that tomorrow. You can kind of see back here, I've got a new job in. It's a 74 Ranger edition Bronco, which has the chrome trim on it, the stainless trim, and the striping package, which a lot of Rangers had. It's coming in for four-wheel disc brake kit, some oil leaks, and some other little mechanical things as well. So I'll be working on that too this next week. Mostly this video is just for a shop update. I will do some time lapse so you guys can kind of see me mocking together the motor and the transmission and setting it in here and getting things aligned and mocked up. So let's get going and get this big block put in here. because I kind of want to see this new Blueprint 502 sitting in here. It'll look like a diamond in this thing. So let's go. All right, well, to be honest with you guys, it's been a couple days. I got the motor sitting in here and the front mount tacked into place, and then I had to pull off onto other stuff. I had a list of other stuff to do with the family. So anyways, I'm back and I'm wanting to wrap up this video for you guys. The big block is sitting in here where it needs to be, correct angle to the rear. Header's clear, firewall, they clear tire, both sides. I need to mock up the steering box and the steering shaft and make sure that there's no issues in between there. I also need to use this radiator for my mock-up for the core support to mount this. I also need to install the water pump, pulleys, the fan, the alternator, and get all that sitting on here, so I can get the correct spacing of this radiator to the fan, and then build my mounts off of that to mount this. And I think after that is all mocked up, I need to work on the tilting mechanism for the nose or the front wrap of the car. And then once that's done, I can basically pull this all apart, finish weld everything, weld in all the firewall holes, and smooth that out, and then I can mask this off and paint this all blitz black, and then do a final reassembly of everything, suspension and steering and motor and transmission and all that, and get it sitting in here for the last time. So that's kind of the direction I'm going with this. The next video will probably be of installing the front motor components and getting the core support mounted for this radiator, and probably doing the steering as well, figuring out, make sure there's no issue with the steering shaft going to the box. So I've also started on the original 74 Ranger Bronco, and I tore apart the front end, I tore apart the outers on the front end to do disc brakes, which I'm going to hopefully wrap up today. And then I'm going to move to the back. I've got disc brakes to do in the rear. I've got new leaf springs to put in the rear. I've got some oil leaks to fix on the transfer case, the transmission pan. I think I have a valve cover gasket leaking, and just a small punch list of stuff to do. But the major stuff was the four-wheel disc brake and the rear leaf springs. And the guy might consider doing a 23-gallon rear fuel tank. So I need to talk to him about that. So those are the two jobs I got going. The next video you see from me will probably be more of this. And I am headed to Cool April Nights, which is in Redding, California, in 2 days on Thursday. And I'll probably get some footage down there and maybe do some shorts on my channel, or I might even try to do enough video footage of the couple days I'll be down there to actually do a short video, maybe a 10-minute video, 15-minute video. So look for that as well. But thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys on the next video.